John
John
chapter 19,
chapter 19,
12 to
12 to
22.
22.
From then
Then
on Pilate sought to release him,
on Pilate sought to release him,
but the Jews cried out,
but the Jews cried
"If
out,
you release this man,
if you release this man,
you are not Caesar's friend."
you are not Caesar's friend.
Everyone
Everyone
who makes himself
who makes himself
a king
a king
opposes Caesar.
opposes Caesar.
So,
So
when Pilate heard these words,
when Pilate heard these words,
he brought Jesus out
he brought Jesus out
and sat down on the judgment seat
and sat down on the judgment seat
at a place called the stone pavement,
called the stone pavement,
and in Aramaic,
and in Aramaic,
Gabbatha.
Gabbatha.
Now it was the day of
Now it was the day of
preparation of the Passover.
preparation of the Passover.
It was about the 6th hour.
It was about the 6th hour.
He said to the Jews,
He said to the Jews,
"Behold your king."
"Behold your king."
They cried out,
They cried out,
"Away with him!
"Away with him!
Away with him!
Away with him!
Crucify him!"
Crucify him."
Pilate said to them,
Pilate said to him,
"Shall I crucify your king?"
"Shall I crucify your king?"
The chief priests answered,
The chief priest answered,
"We have no king
"We have no king
but Caesar."
but Caesar."
So he delivered him
So he delivered him
over to them
over to them
to be crucified.
to be crucified.
So they took Jesus,
So they took Jesus
and he went out,
and he went out
bearing his own cross,
wearing his own cross
to the place called
to the place called
the place of the skull, the place of a skull,
the place of a skull,
which in Aramaic
which in Aramaic
is called
it's called
Golgotha.
Golgotha.
There
There
they crucified him,
they crucified him
and with him
and with him
two others,
two others,
one on either side,
one on either side,
and Jesus between them.
and Jesus between them.
Pilate also wrote
Pilate also wrote
an inscription
an inscription
and put it on the cross.
and put it on the cross.
It read,
It reads,
"Jesus of Nazareth,
Jesus of Nazareth,
the King of the Jews."
the King of the Jews.
Many of the Jews
Many of the Jews
read this inscription,
read this inscription
for the place
for the place
where Jesus was crucified
where Jesus was crucified
was near the city.
was near the city,
And it was written
and it was written
in Aramaic,
in Aramaic,
in Latin,
in Latin,
and in Greek.
and Greek.
So the chief priests
So the chief priest
of the Jews
of the Jews
said to Pilate,
said to Pilate,
"Do not write,
"Do not write
the King of the Jews,
the King of the Jews,
but rather,
but rather
this man said,
this man said,
I am King of the Jews."
I am King of the Jews."
Pilate answered,
Pilate answered,
"What I have written,
"What I have written,
I have written."
I have written."